All right, now we can start recording. First off, you can use this red button here to record. And by the way, if you saw any items here that we haven't discussed yet, don't worry, we're going to talk about all of them. Now, when you want to record something, you actually need to consider some specific conditions, such as the distance from the microphone or the environment and so on. Then we have this gain here, which is related to the sound card. And I have set it on the middle, which is the best distance for me. All right, now I'm going to click on record. Now I'm going to go here and test this microphone. A very important point that you definitely need to consider is that the beginning or the end of your audio file should always be empty, like about a few seconds. I mean, just click on record, say nothing, and let the recording go through in absolute silence. This way, we would be able to detect the noises that we have in our environment. Okay, here we go. Now we have a recorded audio file. And as you can see, the beginning and the end of the file is empty because, as I said, I wanted to detect the noises. Now, as you can see, the recorded file has this wave shape to it, and it contains some fluctuations, you can say. Now, here we would be able to apply some further modifications, which we're going to discuss later on. Or you know what, let's actually do this right now. I mean, let's try to edit this. Let's see what kind of modifications we can apply here. For example, we might be able to do some denoising or any other thing that might enhance the quality of this audio file. However, before doing that, we actually have some other items in this workspace that we can talk about so that you won't have any further questions regarding them. I mean, to be honest, these aren't that complicated, and you might even know about all of them already. Nevertheless, we're going to discuss them. For example, we have play and pause buttons. It is quite obvious what they do. For example, using this one, we would be able to move our playhead. For example, we can move it forward or backwards and so on. And also, we would be able to continue our recording using this one. Or, for example, you can use this loop button to play the recorded file over and over again. Okay, what else? We have skip selection, for example. I'm going to select this area, as you can see, and then when I play the recording, it won't be playing the selected area. In other words, it'll skip it. Then through this part, I mean, for example, this lens here, we would be able to control the size of the waves. I mean, you can enlarge or minimize them in any direction that you want to, both vertically or horizontally, to have a better view on them. And after you're done, you can just click on reset to turn everything back. Okay, now as our next point, I'm going to select this area and then use this button to move through it. See, right now, I'm in the first segment of the selected area. Now, I'm in the last part of it. And using this one, we would be able to zoom in on the entire selected area. And then again, click on reset. Next up, we have zoom to time. Using this item, we would be able to create time periods or specific time windows. For example, partitions within each like 2 seconds. Or for example, let's say 30 seconds each. And also, as you can see up here, our entire file is about 32 or 33 seconds. So actually, let's stay up here. Using this item, we would be able to move through the file, as you can see. We can call this item here our timeline, as you can see. And as I said, we can use it to move through our file. Also, again, we can move our playhead. And if you remember, we talked about fade in and fade out before, which is this item here. Also, we have the snaps. I mean, we talked about all of these items in our previous sessions. Or for example, for the playhead, let me move it to this point. And then if I deactivate this, then if I try playing this, it is activated right now, I'm sorry. As you can see, they both be moving together, but if I deactivate this, they move separately. Alright, then again, we have this reset or show preview editor. Using this one, we would have a view on our file such as this, and in one of the views, for example, we have a zoomed in view. In another one, we have a regular view. And obviously, using these two views, we would have a better grip on our file when we want to apply modifications. Alright, then down here we can see the exact time. Then in selection view here, let me just move the playhead here, for example. Then we can see the exact time that our playhead is set on. Just remember, you can't see the duration, just a single moment. If I do this though, we would have a starting point, an end point, and also a duration. And then using view, you can actually see or check the exact duration or the exact time window that you can currently see on your viewport. See, again, we have a starting point here and the end point, and also a duration, which is 12 seconds. And this 12 seconds would actually point out the exact length of our waveform. Alright, these were the important items that we had here. We still got some other items too, like these move tools, which I guess it is better to talk about them in multi-track session. To be honest, we actually discussed them before, but we still need to discuss them even further. I mean, if you remember, we talked about show spectral frequency before, which is a more specialized item, and we're going to talk about it later on in more detail, if needs be, actually. I mean, basically, we have two types of views up here, one of them being spectral frequency, and another one is spectral pitch display. And basically, there's nothing new here. I mean, for example, we can add the files through this item. And you know what, to elaborate on this even further, let me just give you a quick demonstration here. I'm going to click on open file, and as you can see, we get some files here. Now I can select them, for example, and then drag them into the viewport, and they would be added just like this. And also you can check their info through this status bar that we can see here. And then we have another way to add the files, which is using import. And basically we have several ways to do this. I mean, for example, another way is to create a new multi-track session. And by the way, if you didn't know how to use an item, you can just move the cursor on each item to find out what it does. In properties, you would see some information, some features regarding each file. Then in effects rack, you can create your own personal list of effects that we can use in our projects. More on this later on. And yeah, that's it. After discussing all of these items, starting from the next session, we can start modifying the file.